everybody. Welcome to My Leadership Lesson. My name is Kevin Shaw. And guys, My Leadership Lesson is a weekly mini-series focused or found only here on the Roundtable. I'll be asking just one question, but I can't wait for the many different answers that we will get. Today, we are talking with the Executive Director of Coach Development. He helps run the entire East region of the United States. His 3-year anniversary is tomorrow, but I've had the privilege of working with him for over 11 years. This is none other than Mr. Craig Colyar. Craig, welcome to My Leadership Lesson.
Geez, thanks, Kev. This is the first time I've been part of a mini series, so I was feeling pretty good until you said that. Hopefully, I can I can recompose myself and deliver here.
Didn't mean to throw you off. Okay, so Craig, you know how this works, so let's get right to it. Here is my one question for you. What is the most important leadership lesson you have ever learned?
The most important one ever. Man, I mean, the easy question of that is becoming, like a parent, right? But I think I'll expand a little bit on that. You guys, this is an interesting question. I love that we're doing this mini series. Love that word. And talking about leadership, because it's one of those things that we really don't grow up learning a lot about it. It's not a subject taught in school, even in the college levels. I never had a class on leadership. I never had a class that taught principles of leadership or talked about leading people. Even in some of the management classes that I had, you learned about running a business and you learned about systems, or you learned about finances and debits and credits and things of that nature. But leading people and handling leadership opportunities is something that is really something that we have to self-teach. And a lot of it comes through life lessons, and some of it comes through being intentional about it and learning the skills of leadership. And leadership is hard. Leading people might be one of the hardest jobs out there. It'd be much easier to just sit in your cubicle and write code or manage projects or spreadsheets than it is to actually lead people, because people are weird. You're weird. I'm weird. We're all people, and we're weird in our own way, and we all see things through our own lens. And so leadership can be a challenge, and especially in this type of business where there are coaches, the coaches on your team are not your employees. And so we have to influence through effective leadership. And one of the things that I have learned, one of the important lessons, probably the most important lesson that I've learned on leadership, is that you have to be willing to do things that others are not willing to do. Leaders work hard, and leaders take risks, and leaders go for it. And as I thought about that principle, it took me back to when I was a 14-year-old boy, and I was, this was May of 1990. So I'm taking you back a few years here, and I was on my 14-year-old baseball team. And I played for the A's at the time. And I remember that we were playing the Indians, and it was the last inning of the game. We were home team, which meant that we got the last at bats, right? We were going to be up last, and the score was tied. And I knew that I was coming up to bat. I would be the first one up to bat in the new inning with the score tied. And as I walked, I grabbed my bat and I was walking to take my warm-up swing. My dad walked up to me through the fence, and he said, "Craig," he said, "turn on this pitch. Get this game over in one swing." And he put that in my head. And what he meant by that is to swing for the fences, to hit a home run. If I were to hit a home run, then the game would be over. We would win by one run. And he used that term. I'm going to go into it just a little bit here. Turn on the pitch. And so for you non-baseball people, turn on the pitch means really getting your body into it. I even brought a baseball bat today, right? So when you're hitting a baseball, if you just swing and you're hitting the ball like at your body, like you can get some power behind it. but you're going to hit the ball like out in front of your body, and it's going to be all arms, right? But when you turn on a pitch, it means you're out in front of the ball and you get your hips around. I don't know if you can see that, the difference between this and hitting the ball here and turning on the pitch. You get your full swing of the hips and you hit the ball out in front of the plate. You go get it. Your full body weight goes in it. You hit the ball on the fat part of the bat and you can really hit the ball hard. So I went up to the plate and you know what? I am going to look to turn on this pitch and I am going to swing for the fences. And the pitcher wound up, he delivered the ball, and fortunately he pitched me like the perfect strike. It came in waist high, a little bit over the inside corner, and I was able to turn on that thing and I hit the ball over the fence. In fact, it not only went over the fence, it went over the road and into the front yard of the houses across the street. I don't know if they ever found the ball. It was one of the greatest, if not the greatest, sports moment in my life, and it happened at 14. So that tells you how my sports career went. But it was an awesome feeling. I hit the game-winning home run. In baseball, they call it a walk-off home run because it ends the game. You can hit it, run around the bases, and then you get to walk off the field as the winning team. And it felt great. But I often ask myself, what if I hadn't have gone for it? What if I had gone up looking to, just make contact, or maybe hoped that I got walked, so that I didn't lose the game for the team. I was playing it safe and, let me just get on. Maybe I lay down a bunt, again, try to draw a walk. But I went for it. That was an important lesson to me because it taught me to go after things. It taught me to take a risk and, and to when a pitch comes in, when you have an opportunity to get around on it, turn on that pitch, swing for the fences. It was a fun moment for me. As you can tell, I get excited just thinking about it. Fast forward to May 2013, it's like 24 years later after this experience, and I had an opportunity come my way, an opportunity to turn on the pitch, to swing for the fences. And this opportunity came in the form of a business opportunity. And I decided to go for it. I've been taught to swing for the fences. And I left a career that I had built over the course of 14 years, walked away from it to start my own company, to become an entrepreneur, to start a company from scratch, white sheet of paper, and be able to build this thing. I went all in, went for it, and swung for the fences. Only this time, the ball didn't go over the fence. In fact, you could probably say that I swung and missed because the business failed. The business didn't work out for me. I put everything that I had into trying to hit a home run, but I failed, and it was hard. It was very hard. And as I look at what happened there, there were some really key learning points, I think, in the process of failing that I learned. So in starting my own company, in addition to learning, many business skills that I hadn't known of otherwise, beforehand, learning how to get capital and start a company and finance things and, set up all the systems and, and just all of the technical learning that I was able to receive from this process. Most importantly, I learned some things about myself. I learned that I had courage. I learned that I was capable of creating something, not just being plugged into a system and executing, that I could create something. Gave me confidence in that way. While at the same time, I think the biggest thing I learned, you guys, was humility. Things had gone pretty smoothly for me up to that point in my career and in my life. And here I was now having swung for the fences, and I had no job, no fancy title, and no money. And it was hard. I had 5 kids. I had triplet toddler boys, right? Some of you know I have triplets. They were my youngest at the time. And I learned what it was like to be disappointed, to really be disappointed in myself and feel let down, if not maybe for the first time in my life, feeling depressed about where I was at and my failure to have succeeded in this opportunity. And in the process of all that, I think it helped me in tremendous ways because I had never felt like that before. I had never had to go through things that were hard like that before. And in that process, I learned to be empathetic to others who have felt that disappointment, who have felt depressed. I used to kind of brush that stuff off, and I'm like, hey, just get your mind right. Life is good. And now I was going through it. And in the end, I wound up a better person, a more refined person, and a better leader for having gone through that process of failure. And had I not swung at that pitch, had I let that opportunity pass me by and just stayed in my comfort zone, stayed in my career and continued to do what I was doing, I would have been okay, and the family would have been okay, and I would have gone, but I would not have grown and not given myself that opportunity to learn things, which now help me to understand so much more, not just about business, but about people, about life, about what others feel, because I've been through it. And I was willing to go through it, and it's made me a better human being. It's made me a better leader, a more capable leader through that experience. And so I often wonder, just like I told you about with, when I swung at the pitch for the home run, had I not swung, had I not got around on that pitch and gone for it, I would have never felt the joy and the excitement, the exhilaration of success for having hit the home run. And the same question when, 24 years later at 40, had I not swung on that pitch and missed and failed and learned all of those things that I learned through that, where would I be at today? I would have missed an opportunity to become so much better. And so that's my challenge to you guys. I don't know what opportunities you might have in front of you. I don't know what your specific leadership role is within your team, but what I challenge you to do is to look at your business, look at your life, and be willing to turn on that pitch, swing for the fences. Because sometimes you're going to hit a home run. Sometimes, you might, get a base hit. It might work out okay. And other times you're going to fail. But I can promise you that in the process, you are going to become a better leader. And I know that as you put yourself out there and do those hard things, that you will lead by example. Those around you will be inspired by your effort. And in every chance you give yourself to go for it, you're going to learn something that helps you to become better. And that's what I love about this business, is the opportunity to make ourselves better, to discover our potential, and then do our best to help others discover that potential in themselves. It's what I love about this business concept, this business model that we're in, of helping to influence and inspire others and help them find their purpose and find their voice and to go for it and hit some pitches and strike out at others. It's all something that really makes this something special. You are part of something special here at Team Beachbody. We appreciate what you guys do and just are thankful that you're willing to get into make a difference in this mission and be leaders and lead others and are part of this. So Kevin, that's my leadership lesson for today.
Craig, that was phenomenal. I absolutely, man, every time sports stories, they always get to me. And I love the visual of the bat. That bat was pointed right at the camera. That was a perfect example of how to turn those hips to get that extra power. And guys, the lesson learned is, I hope that speaks to everybody. I don't know of anybody who keeps hitting home run after home run after home run. But that shouldn't affect how we swing. You should always swing just like that. Always swing the best you can, turning on the pitch. And sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. But that leadership lesson was phenomenal. So thank you so much for joining us today on My Leadership Lesson. We'll see you next week, guys.